is Missy, and this is my son Paul. He is 19 weeks old, and today we're going to tell you about my journey on becoming pregnant with him. Okay, so getting into it, my pregnancy story. I have Paul right here, so if you hear some noise, that's just him being loud. Once I had my pregnancy story written out on paper for this video, it didn't seem all that exciting, but at the time, it was all-encompassing. Everything, me and my husband talked about, I thought about on a daily basis, and it was hard. There were parts of it that were very emotionally painful, and you almost feel like you have to be silenced in a way. Can't really talk about what's going on to a lot of people, and that kind of really sucks and is unfortunate. But my journey kind of started at when I was 34. My husband and I decided to try to get pregnant. So I did my research and I talked to my OB/GYN on what the best ways to go about that were. So step number one was to go off birth control, which we did in August of 2017. And I got my period right away, which I thought was a great sign. I did it out in a calendar, figured out the best time to go ahead and start. We did, and I waited 2 weeks. I know. We waited the 2 weeks, and unfortunately I got my period. And I remember being originally so distraught because I just thought it was just going to magically happen. I was convinced it was going to happen so quickly, but it didn't. And that continued of this cycle of getting my period and trying and getting my period, and my cycles ended up being all over the place. Some of them were the 28 days, some of them went up to 60, 70 days. I didn't know what was going on. I had my annual again with my OB in this late spring, I think it was June. I know, you are so talkative, you little rascal. Yeah. So we went in to talk to her. My husband came with me, and she basically was just wanted to do my exam, didn't even want to talk to us about fertility, anything, and was just saying because of your age, I was 34 again, just to go straight to a fertility clinic. So didn't think too much of it, made a call at the fertility clinic in the parking lot with my husband, and that was for July. So July 2017, we meet with a very well-known fertility clinic, and they were great, they were very nice, but it just, to me, felt like they were selling something, and that wasn't the vibe that I was going for. And also in the country and state we live in, fertility treatments are not covered by insurance. So that was another huge factor for us, because the cost of those can be exorbitant. So we drove home kind of bummed because it seemed to me like that wasn't going to be an avenue we'd really want for us. So we kind of just kept trying. And then right before the holidays, so probably like October, November, I just happened to stumble upon another OB kind of in the area who advertised that they helped with some minor fertility issues. So I booked an appointment with her for the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and we both really liked her. She wanted to do some basic blood work tests just to kind of see my hormone levels. I don't remember exactly when they were. I think it was like your cycle day 1, day 3, something like that. And she said that I was pretty much normal, but she suspected I had an insulin resistant issue, which didn't surprise me. I was very stressed out at work, overweight, not sleeping a lot. So she recommended that I go on a drug called metformin, which we started in December. And so distracting. It's so distracting. And with the goal of eventually going on Clomid after having a couple more tests, which is a fertility drug. So we started in December, and my cycle regulated right away, which was a great sign. Still trying, still no positive pregnancy tests. And then in April, we conceived with just the metformin before we even went on the Clomid. Today is June 1st, 2020, so it's a special date for me because a year ago today, June 1st, 2019, I went into the bathroom, took a pregnancy test like I had done so many times before, and my eyes bugged out of my head when I saw the 2 lines or the positive. I could not believe it. And here I am a year later with my almost 20-week-old son. I could not be happier. But it was a struggle. It was a learning process, learning about my body, and kind of just like the whole fertility journey, trying to figure out what was going on. I did so many apps. I actually had the Ava bracelet, which is a fertility bracelet that kind of takes your temperature. I had just had a cheap thermometer thermometer from Target that I took my temperature every single morning. I did a lot of the strip tests myself just to see kind of science experiment what was going on. I got a big box of LH strips from Amazon, and all they are is you just urinate in a cup or urinate on the strip, and it tells you hormone levels, which are close, the hormone levels that you typically see close to ovulation. So I took those daily. I wanted to see what was going on, and what I did discover is some of my longer cycles, I was actually getting LH surge multiple times. Another thing that I discovered was sometimes when my LH surge, what I interpreted, because you're just looking for this line to get darker compared to a control line, which sometimes can be difficult. Is it dark? Is that my LH surge, or is it not? You know, all those things. It's just interesting learning about what was going on with me. But so what I did to help me get through this process was I did a ton of research. I was reading tons of books. I was listening to podcasts. I was doing testing with LH surges and I was doing lots of different testing with different hormonal testing strips that I could get online. I was taking my temperature and I was logging it and kind of just looking for patterns and things to kind of educate myself on what my body was doing. It was very hard. People say not to focus on it, but it was, you know, all we could focus on. And luckily we were pregnant. We got pregnant with this little guy. Could not be happier. I'm so glad it worked out for us. I know there are so many women that it does not work out for, and my heart absolutely breaks. It is an awful process to go through for some. But I hope you found this helpful. I'll list other resources that I use that I could try to find, or products that I found on Amazon that I used during my trying to conceive process in my blog, missyjwhite.com. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.